You are listening to a podcast from Antioch University, Seattle, a leader in social justice education. Welcome to the first podcast from the Teaching Crisis and Conflict series, sponsored by Antioch University, Seattle's Independent Learning Program. My name is Daniel Cords. I am a fourth-year student at Antioch pursuing a liberal arts bachelor's degree with concentrations in human development and learning and social justice studies. In this podcast, I will be discussing the Temperamentals, a play about the Mattachine Society written by John Marins. I have a great respect and love for the Temperamentals. Playwright John Marins successfully captures the extremely diverse personalities of the founding members of the Mattachine Society, a gay rights advocacy group in the early 1950s. But why have I chosen to teach about this play, set in 1950s Los Angeles, in a learning module that is primarily dedicated to the persecution of homosexuals in the Holocaust? Well, the title of this course is Teaching Crisis and Conflict. These two words, crisis and conflict, in which I have named this independent study, are not just buzzwords to look pretty on my transcript. They are much more complex, and I have strategically chosen them because of the relationship to each other. In every conflict, there is crisis, and in every crisis, there is a conflict. Each scenario is different, but commonalities link all conflict and crises together. In the terms of the Holocaust and the Mattachine Society, the conflict and crisis is oppression and silence. So long as there is oppression and silence, we can relate the conflict of homophobia in 1950s America to the crisis of Nazi persecution of homosexuals in 1940s Germany. Now, it is not implied that the homophobia of 1950s America equates with the extreme actions committed against homosexuals during the war, yet because it is violence and oppression to a lesser extreme, it provides an entry point for students to engage in a difficult and potentially traumatizing curriculum. So, to revisit my question, why am I choosing this lesson plan as an introductory plan? It is because of its historical significance, its connection to history, and the silence documented throughout the production. But most importantly, this play is funny. The founding members of the Mattachine Society all had big personalities. Founding member Harry Hay is quoted in the play, and as he said in real life, "I was born on Easter Sunday, the Titanic went down the following Thursday, and why? Two Titanics can't exist in the same world at one time. When one shows up, the other has to go down." Marins successfully captures these personalities in his play, wrapping sobering plot points with humor inspired by each character. A story that is potentially heartbreaking is replaced with an accessibly funny yet focused production that will deliver an effective message of conflict and crisis about homosexual oppression to my students. The humor built within the production will introduce my students to the difficult yet important topics that will be covered throughout this learning module. Thank you for listening to this podcast brought to you by Antioch University, Seattle.